wonders of the unsuspecting world may have been suggested too quickly. Top wonders like the Grand Canyon and Victoria Falls are unquestionably biggest on this planet. Anyone who wants to see them will be fascinated. But absolute size isn't enough to leave a character in awe. There are more places in this world that are so far more isolated, places that seem almost exotic. These are places that scientists possess should to grapple just to understand that how they eternally could have been developed. Places that will truly make you admire, not just cause their elegance so far but because they resemble to understand scientific codes that don't survive anywhere else on this planet. Number 10. Devil's Kettle. The far as natural mysteries persevere. The Devil's Kettle in Minnesota is part of the most interesting ones due to the particular spot forward with the Brule River. This river splits water into two. One split continues its path onto the Lake Superior and the additional split, well, we haven't found any clue where it goes. Explorers know it has to stop up someplace, but we don't have any answer that where that place is. Explorers first attempted putting stain into the pot and remained to see which part of the lake changes of the glow. It was a hopeless attempt but nothing aimed up. The next day they selected to try it with ping pong shots. They also disappeared without any footprint. At that time no one can understand that what is going on. We all acknowledge that the laws of science prescribe that the water has to turn up someplace. Balanced if it is being stored unusual. There should be recognizing and it should be accountable. Immigrants Parallel Universe in our programming and amazing mind trap. Number 9. Hessedal Lights. Citizens of Hessedalen Valley, Norway, remain frequently existing in a range of great scientific magic. Practically every night lights resemble in the atmosphere. They stay in dazzling appearances. They bounce around, shift shapes, flash, mistakenly and escape, only to develop the closed day during the night. This has been working on concerning 4 decades at most. Limited scientists are puzzled by this mystery. There are opinions though, although none seems to be good enough. Because at least the early 1930s people have detected the lights and presumed something could be provoking them. One theory intimates that the lake signifies radioactive. The radon writes dust shreds and upon heights, it decomposes and generates lights. Another theory recommends that the center of the valley has extensive sulfuric acid. Sulfur responds to the liquid and produces what explorers designate glitters. Centuries of examinations have been performed to pinpoint the severe charges except to no services. Number 8. Movile Cave, Romania. Southeastern Romania, there is a hole that was secured away from the most inadequate ray of light for 5.5 million years and has a radically unconventional environment from the planet. The cave was found by workers looking to set up an energy plant. They examined the territory to see if it was a secure place to increase and shattered open a pathway that drives into one of the most unexplored places on the universe. If you drop through the conservative shaft and transferred a series of mines, you enter an antechamber with a lake of sulfuric water stinking of infected germs. The atmosphere there is poisonous, filled with hydrogen sulfide and polluted with 100 times the exterior level of carbon dioxide. The most unusual part though is that a whole ecosystem has sustained inside it. Researchers have found 33 species inside the cave that don't exist anyplace outside. They've accommodated to survive in a sulfuric environment, surviving by feeding off the lather on top of the rocks. Number 7. Lake Karachary, Russia. The Soviet Union held many nuclear plants and most of them were ill-planned and risky. Inside one such company, there is a lake. The lake's water has numerous radioactive substances than everywhere other on Earth. This lake is so radioactive that you will expire within a moment if you persist near it. Soviets evacuated nuclear devastation into the lake. Their nuclear methods have provoked a few obstacles with the lake in history. In 1957, an explosion blew the industry exclusively and the radioactive particles spread more, exceeding than 23,000 kilometers. The city is more radioactive than Chernobyl. The lake has been closed with concrete to keep these hazards from occurring. Still, the whole area unpredictable and abundantly massively radioactive. Number 6. Never-ending lightning storm. In western Venezuela across the Catatumbo River, there was a market that never ceases beginning at 7 p.m. Every night lightning strikes over the water for 10 hours every night. 260 nights every year. Nobody understands for sure why it occurs. Up until recently, the leading theory continued that it had something to do with uranium in the bedrock, although explorers are starting to question it. Today, the advanced theory is a complicated one due to the shape of the mountains generated warm winds to conflict with cold air from the Andes. In that contention is then fueled by the rapidly vanishing water below and methane from a nearby oil field. Nobody really knows for certain, though, why it arrives. Everything about it is puzzling, including one moment in 2010 when it inexplicably suspended. One day, the storm just sank down without reason and looked for a while to be above. Then after 6 weeks of quietness, it sparked up again and has been exploding ever since. Number 5. Circles of Namibia. There is an environmental mystery sitting during Namibian deserts. There are areas of grass with wheels carved in them at regular periods. The sequences are almost perfectly organized and can range from 10 to 65 feet in diameter. And by the system, if you were thinking of the documentary The Signs Are Not Alone, neglect reading the circles. Investigators are not even sure of the more basic proposals such as, why are there circles? Why not any accidental shape? Extinction grows in these cirrus patches. Scientists have come up with various assumptions and all have been exposed almost instantaneously. In 2013, Norbert Jurgens, an environmental explorer, said that termites were the reason for the circles. But in 2015, biologist explorer Walter Schinkel examined the hypothesis and denied it. Number 4. The sleeping city of Kalachi. The city of Columbia, Kazakhstan does not Disney's production. It is essentially real as it occupies. Residents of Collage 2 face a very strange epidemic. People just collapse into naps randomly, despite while walking on the road. They further report mind loss, fatigue, and illusions. The epidemic influences people of all genders and generations. Kazakhstan has even prescribed evacuations, but they are no closer to resolving the problem. One method recommends that the citizens are suffering some kind of radiation poisoning considering and the area is near to uranium mine. However, there are imperfections in that speculation. All the hemoglobin tests and other monitoring has turned up zero confirmation. Secondly, there is a society that is resembling the talent and culture and they have proclaimed no such pandemic. Number 3. The Double Tree of Casozzo. During the countryside of Piedmont, Italy, and there that holds an amazing display. There was a cherry tree there that looks in the largest respects perfectly similar to any other normal cherry tree. Besides that, it appears to be growing directly on the height of a mulberry tree. This isn't entirely unique. Parasitic trees have developed out of others advanced, but frequently they are short, bulky objects that live short days before falling off. The Double Tree of Consortia, though, parallels of two fully developed healthy trees, each increasing its branches 5 meters beyond. Nobody considerably knows how it occurred. The locals assume that a bird may have released a cherry seed on the height of the mulberry tree. The seed turned roots that forced through the mulberry tree's curved trunk and transferred all the way to the clay below, letting it persevere and develop into a complete healthy tree. Number 2. The Boiling River. Rooted in the Amazon, occupies a river for miles long and unspecified other on Earth. The Shinidimpica is so hot that any creature that climbs into it gets boiled alive. When a helpless creature strays in, the ice cook first melting and it's finished. Soon the creature is in too much pain to keep paddling to protection. Water supplies its mouth and lungs and it is prepared from the inside out. The river gets as burning as 91 degrees Celsius 196 degrees Fahrenheit. And explorers aren't entirely sure why. Usually, Water that gets this hot is supported by a volcano, but this one is 700 kilometers extracted from the most related one. There is a system though. Experts believe that boiling hot water from under the surface cracks through fault lines and burns up the river, making the water a geothermal operation unlike any other on this planet. Number 1. The hum of Taos. A barely loud buzzing sound that you posterior pinpoint can provoke you. We have all moved there when a different lawnmower or RTV begins, creating a buzz except and until we die to find where it's appearing from. It seems like our brain is destroying itself from the center. Now believe the pain and disappointment of citizens of Taos in New Mexico. Since the early era of the 1990s, huge numbers of residents of Taos have protested about a continuous humming sound. It can be heard all approximately in the town for the last 2 decades. Some various researchers have tried to locate the hill but to no conclusion. Some explorers have hypothesized that the town's citizens are superheroes who can discover sound that ordinary humans can't. However, that raises more extra questions than statements. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe our channel and please let me know by clicking the like button.